nourishment of the embryo in first 2 weeks. Under the endometrium, we have a thick layer of muscles, in the smooth muscles in different ways, present in this part. This part is our thick area of myometrium. And here we have connective tissue again, loose connective tissue surrounded with the mesothelium, known as the epimetrium or perimetrium. In the myometrium, we have arcuate arteries which enter into the myometrium between the different layers of myometrium. We have arcuate arteries. These arteries form different segments. These different segments enter into the endometrium and form spiral arteries and also straight arteries. Straight and spiral arteries. Spiral arteries goes to the upper side of the endometrium and in these parts form the capillary network and also form the area to collecting of the blood. Here you can see these areas. The endometrium in itself subdivided in 2 layers again. The functional endometrium and basement endometrium. Functional endometrium and basement endometrium. Here you can see the border between the functional and basement endometrium. During the menstruation these days, the functional layer of endometrium completely disrupted from the surface of the endometrium and goes to the outer side. But the basement compartment of endometrium continue their position in the surface of the uterus. Arcuate arteries, before the menstrual bleeding occurs, start to collapse and blood supply into the functional part decrease. With this blood supplying decrease to the functional side of the endometrium, this functional side detached from the basement part and go to the outer side of the body. With the end of the menstrual cycluses, our basement compartment endometrium with these structures ruptured in the epithelial side and have only in some parts the epithelial structure and have only basement part of the glands. Have only this part, this basement part. But we need this basement part to return the functional surface of epithelium. How this returning occur? In the basement part, we have stems of spiral arteries and glands. From the spiral arteries and glands stem, the cells in this part start to proliferation and form normal surface of the endometrium during the stage of proliferation. With this stage, the thicknesses of endometrium return to original size, and glands and connective tissue again form its normal structure. In the end of the proliferative stage, in the surface of endometrium, again we have simple columnar epithelium with straight glands and normal connective tissue. Here you can see the connective tissue in this part, glands, straight glands, don't forget, straight glands and epithelium. This proliferation stage, under the effect of the estrogen, continue the proliferation. We need estrogen surge from the granulosa cells to continue these events. When the wall of the uterus reaches its own size, ovulation occurs in the oocytes or in the ovaries. After ovulation, the levels of progesterone increase. This increasing in the level of progesterone affect the wall of the uterus again. And under the surge of progesterone, the glands of endometrium start to convolute. We have epithelium again like this, and glands form structure like this. This is the basement compartment. With this changing in the structure of glands, these glands now start to secrete glandular saliva. And exocytosis, the production into the luminal side of the endometrium. This secretion affected with the progesterone, which come from the granulosa lutein cells and theca lutein cells. Remember the luteal stage. Because of this secretory function of the endometrium, this stage known as the secretory phase or secretory stage. Can you understand this part? Can you merge the events of the endometrium with the events of the ovary? These events parallel to each other. You should know both of them to understand the physiology of the uterus and ovaries. Now, can you understand this part? It's very simple. Now, say me when the fertilization can occur. This is our oocyte cumulus complex. Oocyte cumulus complex, which ovulated from the ovary and exit into the luminal side of the peritone and catch it with the fimbria of tuba uterina. You know the fimbrias of tuba uterina from anatomy lecture? And with these phylopodial movements, cumulus oocyte complex entered into the ampulla of tuba uterina. In the wall of tuba uterina, we have two types of the cells. Firstly, tuba uterina surrounded with simple columnar epithelium, like endometrium, because it's continuous with endometrium. But in the epithelial side, we have two different types of the cell. The ciliated columnar cells and PEG cells without any seal. These PEG cells have a role in secreting of nutrition to the ossicomulus complex and also sperms which previously entered into the ampulla side. Okay? Because ovulation occurs in day 14, for pregnancy occur or for occurring of the for forming of the zygote, we need our sperms present in the ampulla of the tuba uterina before ovulation. Why? Because if sperms enter into the vagina and goes to the tuba uterina, in the time of ovulation, that sperms don't have capacity to fertilize the oocyte because we need at least 7 hours to capacitate the sperms in the uterus and tuba uterina. As you know, sperms have capacity to be alive for 3 to 6 days. If you are going to see fertilization in day 14, we need our sperms enter into the tuba uterina within 3 days before the fertilization, or 1 day before the fertilization, or 2 days before the fertilization. These 3 days is very important for pregnancy. If sperms enter in this part, for example, in these days, the rates of fertilization decrease. Before day 6, if sperms enter to this part, no any fertilization occur. And also, sperms if enter in these times, they can fertilize the oocyte. Why? Because our oocyte can be alive for only 24 hours. Only we have 24 hours for fertilization and pregnancy. If sperm present in that part, fertilization occur. If not, fertilization not occur. Now, I'm going to ask you about the ovulation date of females with not 28 days of the menstrual cycles. How we can calculate the day of ovulation? For example, if a woman have 32 days of the menstrual cycles, can you calculate the day of ovulation in this woman? Ovulation occurs in which day? If we have 28 days, we divide the 28 to 2 parts, and the middle of day 28, day 14, is our normal ovulation day. But it's not occur in the other women with more than 28 or less than 28 days of menstrual cycles. Because the menstrual cycles have variation days in the proliferation stage and follicular stage. But we have fixed 14 days in this stage. The secretory or luteal stage continue only for 14 days. But this stage can be variable. Because of this, we can reduce 14 days from the 32, and when we reduce this date, we can see day 18 for ovulation period. Okay? Can you understand? Do you have question about this lecture? Thank you for your attention. Our lecture